Everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Nick and Janae. This week it's just Nick again. But our topic today is 5 things I wish I knew or had known about starting a business before I had started a business. I know earlier in the week we did a top 10 video, but there are things as we've gone along in our business development that we look back at and have thought, geez, I wish I had known that. So consider this like a companion piece. And yes, I'm wearing a Christmas sweater. It is not Christmas, but it is dark and rainy in Los Angeles. So I'm going to milk the Christmas spirit as long as I can, because I know that in like a week or two, it'll just be 90 degrees again. And oh my gosh, so sick of freaking sun. Anyways, let's jump into it. Yeah. Point 1. It's going to be a lot of work. I feel like this is one that you see in a lot of stuff when they're talking about business, and I thought, oh, I knew what that meant. I know what that means. That's a lot of work. Yeah, I'm ready. I got it. It's more work than you think it's going to be. And it's not so much, especially when you're starting a business and running one, it's not so much that it's a lot of work like, oh, I gotta move this thing, or I guess if that's your industry, but for me, it ended up being just a lot of hurdles I needed to jump over by bringing in somebody or figuring something out. And like, it's almost like you're on little side quests all the time. And you think, okay, well, point A to point B, like world 1-1 in my Mario life is just like, whoop, that like, I just need to go from here to there. That's super easy. But then here it's like, well, there's a side quest. And I'm like, okay, well, that took a really long time. Okay, now we're back to the really short path. And then, oh, I don't have enough keys. Oh, gosh, so I need, or stars, or roll with me. So then you're like, oh, another side quest, because I got to go back and I got to get some more stars to unlock the next. So it's not that it the just doing it like, oh, I'm going to make a product. Hi, factory, make the product. Okay, hey, great. Hi, customer, buy the product. Awesome. Look at me doing business. That was so short. It's all these little side quests that really eat up your time and contribute to that sentiment of looking back and going, geez, it ended up being a lot more complicated than I thought. It's like a whole season of The Mandalorian just to go 10 steps. 2, you're going to need a support system, whether that be in person, virtual, your friends, what have you. I would try to find some kind of community, because it is really hard to jump into this and be the only person in your circle of people that have more traditional job structures to be doing something out of the box. It's really going to feel like you're going against the grain. It's really going to feel like you're doing something that's maybe weird or wrong or off, because you're just not seeing it around you. So the support system of even other people that are in a similar space is super helpful. If you're in the tech space, a great one that I've been doing and been part of was Founders University. That is a really, really good one. I will put a link in the description to just kind of the general page of it to see if you want to apply. It's kind of like a pseudo accelerator, and you get to stay on even after you go through the program and have access to their community. And as somebody who is not like in Silicon Valley, and you're just kind of having those conversations at every place that you go, it's been really, really nice to be able to tap into that community. Number 3, you're going to learn as you go. I put this as kind of one of the steps in the top 10, but I'm going to reiterate it here because, again, I thought I knew what, oh, I'm going to figure it out as I go along meant, and then you get into it, and then you're like, oh, I'm like simultaneously like doing a thing, learning about the thing, and then figuring out how to do and learn about the thing all at the same time. And again, we're talking about like side quests where you kind of run into a roadblock and you're like, I don't even know where the side quest is. So there's a side quest to find where the side quest is, and then figure out how to do the side quest and then do it, all while still kind of technically moving along the straight path. So learning as you go and just being good at keeping a lot of balls in the air is a big benefit. So I was like, if you're not good at it, just be good at it. But that's easier said than done. So that'd be one to look online. YouTube, great resource. Yeah. Um, if you're looking for maybe best practices, different ways to set up your workflow so that you can manage those. Maybe it's like a project management software. Maybe it's the way that you're organizing what you're doing or how you're reaching out. Everybody works differently, but find a way that works best for you so that with as little friction as possible, you can learn, figure out how to do, and do at the same time. 4, it's not all about the money. This is another one that kind of tears off of the why are you a company? Like, what is your reason for being? What is your brand? Like, why do you exist? And to say, like, I'm going to make this thing that's going to just make a ton of money. I'm not going to say that's never been the path that somebody has taken to start a business or grow a business or have success, but more times than not, as you run into roadblocks and hurdles, that kind of core reason for being and doing is going to be what either gets you over that hump, or it's what's going to be that differentiator maybe when you're pitching to somebody or when somebody's evaluating you. And if you're just coming into it like, I could give like 2 cents, I was going to say another word, but I don't know if YouTube is going to see that it was a bad word, so I'm not going to say it. But I could give 2 S's about this thing that I'm making, but yuppies are going to buy it all up. Again, yeah, people have done that, but I don't think that that's kind of like the best way to go about it. I think if you really have something that it's speaking to you, it's just going to hit different. You're just going to be thinking about it. You're going to be looking to grow it, and it's just it's different. It's just different when it's really like not about the money, but about the thing being incredibly fulfilling to you. I've had times where we've been in parties and you're chatting and you don't even think of it as a networking opportunity, and then out of nowhere somebody says something that perks your ears up, and then your brain does like a little like lightning bolt down to like a thought, and you're like, oh, this person, this opportunity, I can see them coming together, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that would be awesome. And now you're going and you're pursuing this thing where if it was just like, oh, I drop ship, I drop ship hard drives from, China, and I don't even hold the inventory, it goes right to Amazon, and I make all of these and blah, blah. It's like, if you're at a thing and you might not be like, oh, let me tell you why we are like changing the way that you think about storage. So not being about the money more times than not, I think is going to be quite a benefit. And then point number 5, which dovetails right from point number 4, is that you have to be resilient. Stuff, more times than not, is not going to go your way. You're going to be either pivoting because your original idea didn't work. You're going to have a long time of people just not getting it before they get it. You're going to have to do a lot of customer outreach. You're going to have people that are like, what is this even? What are you doing? Like, don't you just want to get a job or something? There's going to be a lot that you're going to be pushing through, and generally that thought of like, oh, I'm going to make so much money is not what helps you push through all of those things. It's really believing that something is going to be better, it's going to change the world, it's going to help people's lives, it's going to just be this thing, it's going to solve X. And that's why I know that I'm doing the right thing. So, resiliency. That's about it. So, those are the 5 things that I wish I knew, and I kind of knew, but really felt day in and day out as I was going in on starting my business and moving through. I hope that gave you some kind of insights. If you have any other questions, if you have something I didn't cover, if you have a different opinion on it, leave a comment, send us an email. I want to chit chat, I want to talk. And yeah, we'll see you next week. And until then, it's business as usual.